Yes, you read the title correctly. We are trying the log method. Oh my goodness, my hair's so wet. Okay, let's get this towel on before I am soaking wet. Hopefully it helps. Hey there guys, today we are trying the leave-in, oil, and gel method. Log. This is recently resurfaced, I have noticed, in the curly hair world, and I've had a bunch of y'all reach out to me and ask if I would try this out or what my thoughts were on it. So today we are diving in with a super fun wavy curly hair experiment wherein we use leave-in conditioner, oil, and then gel. There is absolutely a reason I haven't done this before. And that's because it seems weird. It seems super counterintuitive to me. I'm not sure how this is gonna work on my super fine, wavy, low porosity hair. My hair doesn't tend to be super dry or frizzy, but these methods where you layer a bunch of things in your hair can kind of help trap in some hydration, some conditioning in the hair. The biggest one that comes to mind was the original leave-in oil cream, LOC, and that is meant for much tighter curl patterns, like 4A, 4B, 4C, really tight curls. But the LOG method is modified from the LOC method, wherein instead of using a cream, you use a gel. And you may be looking at this one saying, Courtney, I've never seen you use that before. You would be right. This is Ren Pure, and they were kind enough to send this to me. This video is in no way, shape, or form sponsored, but I did use the shampoo and conditioner. These are fairly easy to find. I have seen them in my local grocery stores and they're massive. They smell incredible. The shampoo is nicely cleansing. The conditioner has some really nice slip. And I haven't featured these in a one brand wash day series video yet because, well, y'all seem to get really tired of the one brand wash days. So I have tried these products out before. I do know how they perform in my hair, but I haven't documented those results or shared those results with y'all because we're just taking a break from the one brand wash days. If you miss the one brand wash days and love them dearly, please let me know in a comment down below and we can start to bring them back a bit. But I did want to talk about these products because I like them and they're affordable and quite nice. All right, I'm stalling at this point because I don't want to try this. All right, we're going in with one of my favorite leave-in conditioners of all time. It is the Curls Blueberry Bliss leave-in conditioner, and I am taking the smallest, smidgeninest amount that I possibly can. This does go a long way. A little does go a long way. Also, my hair just simply does better with less product. If I use too much leave-in conditioner, my hair feels overly soft and stringy and weighed down and a tad greasy. And recently I've been getting a lot of comments on my videos telling me that my hair looks greasy. Thanks, I guess. I don't think my hair is greasy. I think it's just really shiny all the way to the roots, and that can give the appearance of it looking greasy, but I promise, I just washed my hair. I'm not putting product directly on my roots. My hair's not greasy. All right, we got that finger combed through. Now it's time for the oil. And this is where this method makes no sense to me. Oil tends to be very occlusive. All right. I'm only gonna take 4 drops of oil because that is the amount of oil that I would be using if I were scrunching out the crunch. And I'm just gonna glaze that over, target apply it to any areas that do actually get a little tangled on me. That tends to be right at the nape of my neck, but we're just gonna kind of distribute the oil everywhere. All right, so oil is occlusive, meaning it blocks out water. I feel like this is gonna be putting a very thin layer on my hair that's gonna keep it from soaking up the gel. But if your hair is really dry, adding oil in the middle could be a really interesting technique. Like I said, I haven't tried this before because it just didn't make sense to me to put oil on your hair in the middle of styling, basically. But we're doing it for the sake of wavy curly hair science. I used the Marc Anthony Strictly Curls Strength and Shine oil. I've been impressed with this. This one's interesting. Also, I really love the fragrances of the Marc Anthony's Curls line, and I really love their mousse. So it was an obvious choice. And you may have noticed that this whole wash day is thus far drugstore, which is lovely. Actually, it's not thus far. It's actually all drugstore. All of these products are in the more affordable category range of products. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to style my hair. One moment. All right, I figured it out. Because I stood there and chatted with y'all, and I'm not doing this like over the tub today, I'm doing it out of the tub. My hair did dry out quite a bit. You may be noticing that I'm adding water just to my roots. I'm doing that on purpose. My roots are the driest part of my hair at the moment, and gravity will carry the water through the lengths of my hair. I find that when I spray my hair like this, a good portion of the water just goes somewhere else other than my hair. But if I spray it on my roots, I know that it'll travel down. I hope that makes sense. Maybe I should just spray it everywhere and kind of work it in with my fingers. Maybe, perhaps. There we go. That's it. You hear that? That's delicious. I thought that wet plopping my hair at the beginning of the video would be enough to keep my hair hydrated while I chatted. It was not. So now that there's a good amount of water in my hair, P.S. I added water to my hair because the amount of water that is in your hair when you apply your gel to it directly correlates to your curl clump size. Less water in your hair equals smaller curl clumps. More water in your hair equals chunkier, juicier curl clumps. And whether you like smaller curls or bigger curls, all depends on your preferred outcome. I personally like somewhere in the middle. I don't love just straight damp styling my hair because when my curls get too small, things start to look a little stringy. But when my curl clumps get too big and juicy, then my hair looks really weighed down and stretched out. I'm trying to balance the boingy curls that come with smaller curl clumps, but also the juiciness of bigger curl clumps. I hope that makes sense. Now I need to organize my curl clumps, and I'm gonna do it with my swing curl clump method with no towel. I'm just gonna get sopping wet. But I start upside down and I brush everything forward nice and smooth. You know what? I'm gonna switch to this brush for smoothing everything down. And for that step, I was using this Bounce Curl detangling brush. Now I'm going in with the Bounce Curl Clump and Define brush. Yes, I think. Now that everything's really nice and smooth, this brush is almost too gentle to like grab all the hairs. I have a lot of hair. This doesn't quite reach all the way down to my scalp when I'm trying to smooth everything down. This is nice and curved, and I feel like it reaches to my scalp really well and grabs all the hair so that I can get everything really nice and smooth and forward. Now that everything's nice and smooth and forward, I'm taking the Define brush, really pushing the hair away from my face. I like to style upside down because it gives me a ton of root volume, but I also don't like my hair falling in my face. So that's why I brush it away from my face. Then I'm gonna pull the hair off the sides of my head. There we go. And off the back of my neck. Yes, I know, I just spent all that time brushing it up. The hair in the back of my head will still have that root volume and that lift, but now I'm just kind of pointing everything down just on the perimeter of my hair. Doing the same thing on the other side, brushing the hair off the sides and back of my neck. Last section, just for fun, right here. And it's time for gel. Gel, I've always grabbed a decent amount of to make sure that I have enough product to hold my curls. That was maybe the worst showing of gel I have ever showed y'all, sorry. I would say it's about a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half's worth of gel. Glaze that over and scrunch it in. Getting a tad more, and I'm going to apply this to the sides and back of my head. Right there, right in the back. All right, now that I've scrunched for 10 million years, I'm going to micro plot my hair or just gently scrunch out any excess water from my hair, and then I'm gonna go diffuse. You know what? I was thinking about this while I was diffusing. This gel does have castor oil and moringa oil in it, so I wonder if that negates this experiment. I don't think it'll mess up this experiment because I do remember how this product performs all on its own, but in case you were wondering, I did actually think about that. Are y'all thinking? There, lift y'all up just a little bit. These products did not cast on my hair. This gel gave a tiny bit of a cast the first time I used it, but it wasn't gonna cast today because of the products that I put underneath it. Now I'm going to fluff out the crunch and scrunch it one more time to reveal the final wash day results. But first I'm gonna take off this little silicone wetting band I have because sometimes it gets hung up in my hair. Y'all are sinking again. Stop sinking. This stand is getting old. Okay, now let's do it. And here are the final fluffed out and scrunched results. Excuse me, did this just work? Like really well? I am so confused. This looks incredible. I feel like it actually increased the level of definition in my hair. It's very bouncy and soft, but also very curl enhanced. There is zero frizz to be seen. I am extremely impressed. Let me know in the comments down below, would you try this? In fact, I'm just gonna tell you, you kind of have to rush out and try this because it seems oddly amazing. Why was I such a wavy curly hair snob thinking I knew all the stuff and things? And I was very close-minded. I thought I will not try this because this seems silly. But somehow putting just 4 drops of oil in between the leave-in conditioner and the gel, could I hold these any weirder? Probably. For some reason, putting an oil in the middle of this mix did really good things for my hair. Now, I know y'all want to see how this held up, and this is what my hair was looking like at the end of the day after many hours of my wild and crazy mom life, outside running errands, bending over to pick up small children, etc. This is how it held up. And this is what my hair looked like on the next day with zero refresh. Just pulled it straight out of the overnight hair protection, gave my roots a fluff, there you go. That is how the hair held up. I'm impressed. I didn't know that this was gonna work this good. Sorry I didn't try it sooner and share it with y'all because this worked great. As always, I sure hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.